Hi, I'm Luke Timmerman, the founder and editor of Timmerman Report and a contributing writer at Forbes. I'm here at the Bio CEO and Investor Conference in New York. With me is Peter Greenleaf. He's the CEO of Sucampo Pharmaceuticals. Thanks for being here, Peter.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, first off, can you just tell us a little bit about Sucampo and what you're doing there?
Yeah, so the company is a commercial stage drug development organization, has two products on the market. Small, we're under 100 employees, under 700 million in market cap. Publicly traded, obviously. We are acutely focused on continuing to grow our commercial base, the revenue coming into the company, but also move that late-stage pipeline forward. Therapeutic areas we're in is gastroenterology as well as ophthalmology.
And Peter, you've also had a long career in the industry, most notably at MedImmune, and many years of service on the Bio Board of Directors. It gets you involved in policy issues. What are the top one or two issues of interest to the Bio Board these days?
Well, I think the ones you're going to hear consistently from members that come and talk to you today are, first, continuing to move forward with reform's probably the wrong word, but continuing to progress the regulatory process with the FDA. There's incredible work that's been done over the last, let's call it, 10 years with bio, pharma, and directly with the agency and Congress to move breakthrough therapies forward, to get breakthrough therapy designations, to increase transparency. Clearly, the FDA interactions, how drugs are reviewed, and the transition with FDA leadership are key issues for bio to be addressing today. And I think that continues with a head of steam. Second is intellectual property. That's always a big one in our industry, but is becoming more acute lately. Those I think you're going to hear as common themes. To me, there's a few other areas that are more ecosystem related that are focuses of bio today that probably my business bend on the finance side can be more interested in at times. The issues of taxation, repatriation of cash outside the U.S., how Congress is dealing with these issues, and that's not just a pharmaceutical industry and biotech industry issue, but I think from a pure investor and capital formation standpoint, critical to the overall ecosystem that we live and breathe in as investors and as guys, men and women who build companies in this space.
Now, a lot of people who aren't in the industry look at this and don't really understand why companies in this industry park so much cash overseas, and there's such profitable companies, at least at the top level. And benefit from so much of the research that the government, taxpayers invest in here. Why is that money sitting elsewhere and not being put to work in developing new therapies here?
Yeah, listen, I'm not an economist and I'm not a CPA, but I think I understand the basic mechanics of it enough to say that companies in our business where we have at or around a 90% failure factor from early discovery through to approval of products. Our business model is difficult, right? Return on invested capital in our business is somewhere between on the margin and upside down for most companies and most brands that get launched because it's very, very risky. We're always searching for ways to improve margin, to improve our business model, and maximizing tax structure is absolutely 100% one way to do that. All businesses have to do that, but almost doubly so more important in our business due to the difficult return on investment model that we have. Companies where they actually do business can take advantage of the tax structures in those areas, and the cash that's there actually stays there. To bring it back into the United States, you're going to get taxed on it on a higher rate. So companies leave it there because it's a tax advantaged area to leave it. I think there's huge opportunity proactively talking to industry, not just ours but others, to try for Congress to address this issue, for the president to address this issue, and create incentives for companies to want to bring that capital back into the United States. There's been some volleys, but the most recent ones I think have been they've fallen a little flat, and I've not seen commentary from pharmaceutical and biotech industry leaders. I've seen some more from the tech leaders in Google and other areas who have the exact same problem and opportunity.
Any good ideas there? I mean, because it sounds like it could be interpreted as saying just lower tax rates and we'll bring the money back.
Well, that's one solution. Or it could be that you just never would assume that money's going to come back into the U.S. ecosystem. If you created a way to incent companies to do that it could create even greater economic growth for the U.S. So, and put the U.S. From a technology standpoint, overall economic growth. And from our business, the overall biotechnology and pharmaceutical environment, a much richer environment to develop in. It's a long-term benefit, but I don't think you're talking 5 to 10 years. And I don't see what the loss is to the U.S. government by not reducing taxes, but what you could do is put an incentive on that for deals done with that cash coming back into the United States. I'm not a legislator either, so drafting that kind of policy is outside of my pay grade.
You think you can do it in a way that helps create more new therapies?
Sure. I think the amount of capital that's come into the biotech and the pharmaceutical space over the last, let's call it 5 years, it's been, I believe, the #1 area invested in, and the amount of companies that have been newly minted, public companies that have the money that they need to develop drugs. I don't think there's ever been a better time in our space in the last several years. This would only help to accelerate that. So, yeah, I think there's good ways that the President and Congress can work with industry like ours, because I think Apple, there's the Pfizers, they're comparable would be Apple and Google and everybody else on the tech side that are looking to solve the same problem. So I don't think this is just germane to our industry.
Great. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Thank you.